Welcome to the Sports Marketing Machine podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Neisser. This is the podcast to help those working in sports level up their marketing skill set so you can sell more tickets, sell more merchandise, and grow your fan base. Today, we're going to talk about 3 optimization tips using Awarity. So if you're an Awarity customer, this one is especially for you. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If you're listening to this on audio, I'm going to put the link in the show notes for you to be able to watch the video to this. So we're at a dummy account here, and it's just a dummy account that's created, and it's covering 4 different flights. So we've got a lot of data in here. So let's go through, and I'm going to start with the first one that I always take a look at. Anytime I take a look at someone's ad account, and this is what I always look at, is there's this area here that says top domains. So we're going to scroll down and see some of these are getting lots of impressions and then minimal clicks. In a perfect world, you get a good balance of clicks and impressions. Like here's the Android mobile app has 122 clicks and some conversions and so forth. The biggest thing I want you to take a look at, and this is takeaway number 1, if you're getting a lot of clicks but no conversions, turn that off. So blacklist that specific spot, and you can talk to your Awarity rep and they'll be happy to help you. So let's pretend for a second Overwolf Mobile Games had 500 clicks but 0 conversions. That means it's sucking up the budget. People aren't buying, they're just wasting clicks. It could be a kid in the grocery store who is just clicking on it and not really going to buy when mom hands the kid the phone in the grocery store to keep them occupied. We've seen this before. As a parent, I've done this before. So that is one big takeaway for you. If you're seeing a website or a domain that's sucking up a bunch of clicks with no conversions, that would be the time to say, you know what, let's go ahead and blacklist them. So in this case here, 16 at moby.i funny. That's not bad. My limit's like 35 to 40. If you're getting 35 to 40 clicks with no conversions, then I would have a conversation with your Awarity rep. But that's where my limit is. But you see here is 122 with 6 conversions. So domains, check the number of clicks. If they're getting 35, 40, or even on the higher end, 50 to 100 with 0 conversions, go to your Awarity rep and say, hey, can we go ahead and blacklist one? This one's not driving any sales. All right, next one here, ad design. So in this case, this dummy account, we only have one ad in here, and it's promoting men's and women's basketball. If you're going to promote a bunch of different promotions, so if you're in baseball, you got fireworks. If you're in hockey, you've got giveaways and different contests coming on up. I want you to make sure that your ad creative is consistent for each one. One of the things that I immediately see when I hop in these and start doing an audit and help teams is that their display ads from Awarity are a bunch of different designs using a bunch of different fonts and a bunch of different colors. You have brand colors, you have brand fonts, you have a style guide, you have designs that you're working with. Be consistent. So when a fan starts to see these ads, they'll know exactly who you are just by your colors, just by the font. I mean, just like we can see the Nike check mark, we know what that is without even having the word Nike next to it. Same exact thing for your team or for your university. Make sure these are correct. So even if you're promoting a Thirsty Thursday and you want to put a beer in there, make sure the font that says Thirsty Thursday is in your colors and in the font that you specifically use. In this case here, we only see one ad that's running there, which is fine many cases, but oftentimes I recommend having 2 or 3 that rotate because you may have ad fatigue. You may have shown this ad to a bunch of different people and they simply are just getting banner blindness, but I recommend 3. So in this case, main takeaways for this one here is fonts, colors, design are consistent all the way through in all of the different ads that you create. So I mentioned in that last takeaway there about the ad design, about frequency. So we're gonna pull all the way up here, and we're gonna start to take a look at some of the targeting and what have you. Ad frequency and unique reach is blocked out here for various reasons because this is a dummy account. But if you're looking here and you're saying we're retargeting to previous website visitors, and this is really going to be my number one highest converting. And it typically is for most teams and universities. But if you look here and you see your frequency in the 9 to 14 range, that means that you've shown the same ad 9 to 14 times to the same person. If you saw something 9 to 14 times, that's like getting beat over the head a bunch of different times. You're simply not going to get people to convert. The sweet spot is that 6 to 7 range. Anything above that is just going to be completely wild and just a little bit out of control. So you want to mix it up, but Awarity does a really good job of spreading your ad over all of these different targeting to make sure that the frequency is not crazy. But if we see frequency in that 9 to 14 range that says, hey, maybe we need to expand our audience a little bit more in different zip codes, we could be able to do that for sure. But that is really one of the big things that I immediately look at is the average frequency. Because if you just keep beating people over the head and they're not buying, like there's a really good chance they're not going to buy. So let's come up with different ad creative that's consistent with your brand, but then we switch up the messaging a little bit because that might get them to convert. But those are the three big things. So recap at the end of every single episode, I share with you a recap to go through the main takeaways from today's episode. Number one is your top domains. If you're in Awarity, you've got campaigns running, you want to take a look in here. If you're getting 30 to 40 or even 50 clicks, you might want to have a conversation with your Awarity rep. When you're getting that many clicks with zero conversions, you really want to start asking some questions like, hey, should we be blacklisting this website? Should we be turning this one off? The other recommendation here as well is to add your own local websites. A lot of these communities across America and across the world have marvelous local newspaper style websites that Awarity has access to the ad network and be able to place ads on theirs without going through your local rep. So you can add those as well. But the biggest takeaway for this one, number one, is check your clicks and your conversions. Because if you're getting a bunch of clicks, it's eating up your budget without any conversions, without anyone making any money. So that would be the thing there that I would ask your Awarity rep, see if we could blacklist. Second takeaway here, your ad creative. It's got to be consistent. Same fonts, same colors, similar design, different messaging a little bit. So if you get fireworks or your giveaway or it's opening night or whatever it is, same colors, same fonts. It's always going to have this call to action. In this case, it's get tickets, and you could have get tickets now. You could change it, whatever it may be, but you got to be consistent with how you put your ads together. Otherwise, it's going to look really weird and different to fans, and your click numbers are just going to be all over the map. So consistency with your banner ad creative. And your third, as you start to take a look at this, we're going to start to take a look at ad frequency. How often are the visitors who are seeing these ads seeing the ads? Are they seeing them 9 to 14 times? Gosh, that's a lot. 6 to 7 is kind of that sweet spot. Once you start getting into 9 to 14, you might want to start talking about expanding your audience, expanding your region. I hope this was super helpful. I hope this was very beneficial for you to be able to think through the different things that you can have conversations with your Awarity rep so that you can get the most money out of it, get the most impressions, and most importantly, sell more tickets. Until next time.